Let's talk through some free sewing patterns for the month of January. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and we are continuing on with our free sewing pattern by month series. So for 2025, we are starting off with a whole brand new board. The link to this will be in the description below, but I have 6 different patterns, and this month we are doing all sewing patterns related to organization. So as you can see, one of those pins did not load. It will come back though. We just need to refresh the page. But today's video is all about fun little organization crafts. So if we start off, our first one is this makeup brush holder tutorial. This seems really easy and really simple to put together. I definitely would recommend this as probably like a beginner project if that's something you're interested in. But what it is it's a spot to hold all of your different makeup brushes. I definitely think you could also use for paint brushes if you were into painting as well. She talks through everything that you are going to need and then has step-by-step photos of how to put it together. So you can see there was no email needed, there was no extra information. You're just able to go to this website and she shows you how to build this out. The one thing I will say is there's no pattern pieces involved with this, so you will need to have like a straight edge and a ruler so you can make sure you are cutting out the correct size for your fabric. But overall, it turns into this really cute little makeup brush holder that does seem really useful since you are able to fold it down. I think this could be interesting to try with vinyl as well if you want to make it more water resistant. Now if we go back to the board and we go to our next item, this is a little sewing organizer, so staying on that organization theme. So if you click the little visit site button, it will take you to the website where this came from. I will say with this one and walking through it, this probably is not the most beginner friendly. As you can see, there's no pattern piece. She just shows you the sizes and dimensions for how to draw this out yourself. And I think that could be a little confusing if you've never really done this before. So I would recommend that this stay more the intermediate sewing level, or if you have experience building out your own pattern pieces to get it to be that cat shape. If you do figure out how to make the pattern though, I think that this just seems like a really fun and kind of cute little item to have on hand, especially if you're into hand sewing or embroidery. You're then able to kind of build this out with whatever pockets or supplies or tools you want to keep in it. Hers definitely looks like it's more on the embroidery side, but you know, if you're really into hand stitches or hand sewing, this could be a really fun way to organize and store all of that. And then of course it's in the shape of a cat, which is just so cute and fun. But definitely would recommend if you're looking for something that's probably a little bit more of a challenge, but can organize your sewing supplies. So definitely be sure to check out this pattern. The next one we have on our list, now we are moving a little bit away from like actual organization little pockets, but instead looking at our sewing machine. So the first is this quilted sewing machine cover. So I think that this is a great way to really start to get into quilting as well if you're brand new to that. But sewing machine covers actually offer more than just making your sewing machine look pretty. It can help remove any dust that falls onto the machine or dirt, keeping it a little bit in better shape for when you use it in the future. So for this, it's a really simple pattern. So you just cut out a bunch of squares and then 2 larger side panels, and then you're able to sew everything together. So basically making just a little quilted overlay for your sewing machine. So if you don't have one, I would highly recommend kind of looking into getting either some sort of cover or making one yourself for your sewing machine. And then this could be a really fun beginner project as well if you want to learn a little bit more about quilting. Then the second item for the sewing machine is the sewing machine mat. I will say that this seems a little bit bigger. So if you are in a very small area with your sewing machine, this may not be the best option, but it did look really fun, so I wanted to include it. It's also a great way, it looks like, to organize all of your little sewing tools. And then she does have it so it rolls up, so like once you're done sewing, you could very easily roll it up and store it away. But basically she walks you through how much fabric you're going to need, how the mat works, and then step by step on how to build it out. One thing I did really like about this though was how thorough she was in the write-up, in the photos, and then she does have like a more printable way for you to see all of this. So I would say that if you're really trying to figure out what you want to make and you're looking for something very detailed, this is a fantastic pattern for that, just because she does go into so much detail about all of this and how many items you're going to need and step-by-step instructions. It also did have reviews associated with it and people gave it really high reviews. So I think that this would be a great way to go forward if you are looking for some sort of mat or you want to organize your sewing supplies a little bit more. This seems like a really great pattern, has so much in there, and would be a fun item to try. So then the last two projects that I have listed on this board are more related to kind of home items. So the first are these little fabric buckets. You can see that the pin has loaded now. I find these buckets so useful. I have made them before. So she walks through how you can build out the buckets and even includes a video. She says that it's a very beginner friendly task, and I will say that this does seem like a very easy beginner project. I have made these before as well, and I would say it also would qualify in that beginner level category. She includes a cutting guide for the different sizes you need, which I think is great. And then she has a video, so very simple and straightforward to walk through, as well as pictures and step-by-step in the blog. I will say that I have tried to make these before and have used like very lightweight cotton because that was what I had on hand at the time, and they don't always hold up the best as far as like staying straight up. So definitely be sure to use interfacing, and I would probably suggest using a heavier weight cotton just so you can make sure that it is able to hold up and stand for whatever you're putting in your basket. And then finally, the last thing I have on here is this plastic bag dispenser. Now, I know in some parts of the country, in some areas of the world, you may not be using too many plastic bags, but if you still have a lot on hand, this can be a great way to organize them as well as store them for reuse. I have made one of these in the past and we use it constantly, so I know that this is something that can get a lot of use if you do have plastic bags. One thing she does note is to use heavier weight material. And for the plastic bag holder I made, I did not. I used lightweight cotton and it turned out just fine. So I really think you could use whatever type of cotton you had on hand, especially since you are stuffing it with plastic bags, like it will hold its shape. Her walkthrough though includes pictures and step-by-step instructions, so very quick, very easy to put together, and this would also be a great way if you've never really worked with elastic to start to introduce yourself to that so that you could kind of learn a new skill if that's something you're interested in. I would highly recommend though, if you're looking for something fun for your kitchen or garage organization and have a lot of bags, to try to make one of these because they can be very quick and easy to whip out, and then you have a new decoration for your home. I hope you enjoyed these patterns for January. Let me know which ones you're going to try, as well as let me know what types of patterns you're looking for February. The link for the board is in the description below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.